What's up, guys? I'm Matt. This is Motorworks. I have the Thundercat today. We got parts from eBay. There's snow on the ground. It's cold outside. Alright, so yeah, most of that was rambling. But in this video today, I did get some parts for the Thundercat. I have a pretty good idea on what I think is wrong with the bike. For those of you that have been asking where is this bike been or what have you been doing with the bike, in this video I'm going to address that. I'm also going to introduce, yes, that's right, yet another motorcycle project to the channel. But we are going to start this video off with the Thundercat and what I think's going on with the bike and how I plan to move forward fixing and resolving the issues that are plaguing this bike. We're back working on my 1997 YZF 600R. It's also known as the Yamaha Thundercat in other parts of the world. To give you a little backstory on this bike, if you're new to the channel, when I got this bike, it didn't really run well. Originally, I got this bike from a buddy of mine, and it had runnability problems when I got it from him. I thought I fixed those issues a while back, but come to find out I didn't. So, when I actually purchased the motorcycle, I went through it, serviced everything I could, drained the fuel tank, cleaned it, drained the carburetors, rebuilt the carburetors, spark plugs, went over the valve adjustment, just went over the bike completely from basically front to back. You know, it's got as many new parts as I could put on it up until this point. Alright, bike still won't stay running. Run it about 10 minutes and it shuts off and it's very difficult to get restarted. If I let it sit, or in the case that it left me sit the last time, it left me sit on the highway, by the time I got it back home, I was able to offload it from the trailer and ride it into the garage, and then it would idle and stay running just fine. So it definitely has what I believe to be a fuel-related issue. It's not getting fuel. I think that the fuel pump might be going bad and not operating all the time. Maybe it's getting hot and swelling up, but there's something going on, I believe, with the fuel system on this bike. It did have a charging issue, but I resolved the charging issue, and it still gave me that same problem where it runs great for a little bit, and then eventually it just shuts off, stalls, and dies. So, that's something I have to fix. I let it sit because, I mean, we've all been there with projects. Sometimes you get to a certain point where it just becomes a headache and you're spending a bunch of time on it and there's other things that need done, and that's kind of the case with this bike here. It just sat for a while and I kind of forgot about it. A couple months ago, or you know, it was a little while ago, my buddy Phil, you might remember Phil, I just did a video with them. He's from Haldeman Auto, or Cycle Hunters. If you didn't get a chance to check out that video, I recommend you do. I'll attach a link to that video here. As I said in that video, I help him out from time to time when they get slightly larger jobs that they just don't want to tackle at the time. And this was one of those things where it was that case. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to hopefully the solution to my runnability problem. That's right, guys. I have another Yamaha YZF 600R Thundercat. It's even in black, just like this one. This bike runs and does not shut off. So, I have a donor bike for this bike to scavenge parts off of this to see if I can get this one to run, so I know exactly what parts I need to order for my bike. Now, Phil did not give me this bike to steal parts off of it. He actually gave me this bike because, believe it or not, this bike, as beautiful as it looks, is in worse shape than this bike, as hideous as it looks. Now, the reason this one is in worse shape is because this bike actually needs second gear replaced. Now, if you've owned these bikes in the past or currently own one, you know that these bikes have second gear problems, and this one here is no different. This one, you put it in second gear and it immediately spits it back out. It doesn't matter if you're downshifting to second gear or upshifting to second gear. Second gear is MIA. There is no second gear in this bike. So what that means is the engine needs to be pulled out of this bike and I need to replace the second gear. In the time that it is down, I will be able to just bump some parts off and pop them on this bike. Since this bike will be disassembled, the parts will be easy to switch from one to the other. So I figured, what the heck, that way it'll definitely save me some time and save me some money from just shotgunning parts at this bike. So that's the big news I had for hopefully my solution to my runnability problem. The other news is what's in this box. We went with individual coil packs for my bike. It does currently have an issue where it's only running on 3 cylinders, so the parts are expensive to fix that issue as it is, but this was a cheaper alternative, so I will have a how-to video on installing these individual coil packs coming up, if it is possible. Again, I have seen a bunch of people that have done it and have had success with converting to an individual coil pack setup, so I don't think it's going to be an impossible thing to do, but that is going to be a future video coming up. I also, since this nice shiny 600 behind me has a second gear issue, I will be throwing a video together on how to replace a second gear in a motorcycle, since that is a pretty common failure on not only this motorcycle but other motorcycles. Second gear is definitely a gear that will go out more often than any other gear in the transmission. So I will have a video on that. If you've ever been curious how that's done, I'm going to do as in-depth a video as I can to help anybody out there that has a problem with their transmission on their motorcycle. So that's the new stuff coming to the channel. I have a few jobs ahead of the 600, so it's going to be a little bit till I get to that, but I figure I'd let you guys know, get you guys excited for it. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to get started on this stuff, but that's just a little update video for you guys. So that's just a little update on the Thundercat. I know some of you guys again have been wondering where it's been and what's been going on with it. That's the most up-to-date I can give you on it. I do plan on fixing it. I did not get rid of it. It's going to be something that comes up, and hopefully we get it ready for springtime so we can get that thing back out on the racetrack and finally complete a track day like I wanted to do originally with the bike. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. If you liked the video, as always, give it a thumbs up. You want to see more videos in the future? Don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell. As always, thank you guys for supporting me in all that I do. We'll see you in the next video.